Let's talk Urban Meyer, Albert. What's he doing? What's going on with him right now? What's going on with Urban in Jacksonville, Albert?
Well, I'll tell you, I think it's an interesting move to go and bring in Tebow. And, I'll be honest, like, I don't know that the upside here is really worth kind of what you're going to go through. I've talked to some former players about this, and, I've talked to some people who've worked with Urban. And I guess the upside is that you have a messenger for your program now, inside the building. And you have a messenger inside your locker room and a guy who can kind of tell the players, what Urban expects and, help him set a standard. To me, though, the problem really is it's twofold. It's number one, does this open the door for every ex-player who's played for Urban who might be in the fringes of the league coming and looking for a job? And then number two, does he bring a circus with him? And so, where I struggle with this, Rich, is he's 33 years old. He's never played the position before. I don't think anybody thinks he's going to turn into Tony Gonzalez, right? What really are you getting out of this outside of, maybe what you could get with a lower profile player who maybe played for you at Ohio State or Florida? That's the thing. And so, and look, there's nothing against Tebow either. I think it's amazing what he's accomplished, as an athlete. A lot of people didn't think he played quarterback in the NFL. He went to the playoff game. A lot of people laughed at him at the idea of him playing baseball, and I think he represented himself pretty well doing that. So I don't begrudge him, taking the shot at doing this, because your body's only young once. But I guess I'm sort of failing to see where the real upside is here for Jacksonville in doing this.
Well, how about let's game it out here, Albert, because I don't know about the whole circus aspect of it. That was 10 years ago, number one. There'll be a level of interest, that's for sure. Let's see how Urban's NFL team looks. It could look a lot like Belichick's, which is like, you may want to make it a circus. It's not going to happen here. Good luck. Good luck trying to reach Tebow, trying to get to him. He'll be available maybe once, to you, but there won't be a weekly Tebow confab for you in the media. He might place the Belichick velvet ropes around it and suck the life out of a story in the same way that New England does. That could happen. And two, Urban, better than most.
Yeah.
He's probably like, you damn straight that the culture actually is important for me to install that here. I'm going to get somebody here in my first go round in the NFL who's been in the NFL, but also knows exactly what I'm about. Let him do that. And also on top of it, the owners, in terms of a circus, they run the AEW, man. Like, so, you know what I mean? And
yeah, no, I'm with you.
and they also want to make sure that they're known internationally. I think this works on every possible level. That's the way I look at it.
Well, it's good. It's good for business for us, for sure. I would say that, like, I think it's a little bit different dynamic, where they are geographically. And, being in Foxborough and having so many other stars there and all those pelts on the wall, I think it became a little bit easy. It was a little easier for Belichick to control it. I mean, Rich, they're 90 minutes from Gainesville, I believe, right? I mean, it's going to be a big story. Now, if you want to play devil's advocate on it, I think one thing that's sort of interesting, and I think it was Bobby Carpenter who brought this up to me, and it was a really, really interesting idea, was, doesn't this take pressure off of Trevor? Which I thought was sort of an interesting way of looking at it. Like that maybe because Tebow's there, it sort of takes some of the heat off of Trevor, and Trevor can kind of maybe develop in a more conventional environment, as a young quarterback. So that was sort of an interesting piece of it. And I do know that how Urban values culture. And so that's, I can certainly see where, you would want to, sell the culture if you're him. I just, again, like, the guy's not going to make the team, Rich, or guys look at him and he can't play. I mean, wouldn't you think that could, like, hurt from a credibility standpoint?
No question about it. That's the thing that's the last, I guess, cycle of this conversation I want to go through with you, Albert Breer, Sports Illustrated, is that, there's no guarantee he's going to make the team. Give him a shot. You know what I mean? Like, that, it's not like they're signing him to the 53-man roster here and it's going to cost them money if he doesn't make it. Like that's not the deal That's not the deal that they have with him. And in terms of pressure, no, not to push back against an Ohio State guy who's quoting an Ohio State guy who knows the Ohio State guy very well combined. But, I mean, take pressure off Trevor Lawrence. I don't understand that. What wasn't the cover story in your magazine prior to the draft that made so much news about the fact that he doesn't feel pressure? Like he's not normal?
Yeah, that's true.
Where he comes from? Like
that's true.
Now we're signing Tim Tebow. I just don't think it's a five-dimensional level, 4D chess here. I think that this is Urban saying, if you're on the team, it's because I say so. I run this shop here, and I want somebody who knows the culture, or, I'm giving a guy a shot. That's the way I do it. That's the way I've always done it. And I'm a loyal guy to people who are loyal to me. And, and if Tebow makes it, what a great story. And if you tell Shad Khan, we want to sign Tebow, what do you think he's going to do? I'm concerned about the circus? Or they want to see if he's going to go against Chris Jericho. You know what I mean? Like, right? Let's see if Cody Rhodes could use him. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, I think that's the way they might be thinking about it.
Well, I mean, look, and you know what? You're right. Like, one of the things that, like, I think we sometimes forget, like, looking at some of these things in retrospect. I mean, there was a lot going on in Foxborough. When Tebow was on the roster there, on the 90-man roster. Obviously there were a lot of different things going on there. But I think I think if you look at that season, I mean, they went to the AFC Championship game, so it's not like, I mean, to me, like that was more of like a 4-week story,
right? And
then the months to follow, it's like kind of forgotten, even though we all remember it now. And same with the Eagles. Like people, I wonder how many people out there would be able to tell you that he was even on the Eagles.
By the way, you just
training camp, and
Albert, you just reminded me of that. You just reminded me of that. I'd totally forgotten. It's on the Eagles.
Like, so Chip Kelly brought him in 2015, and Chip got fired at the end of that year. But was that a factor in him? No, it wasn't a factor in the season. So, you're probably right about that. It's a fun thing to talk about in May. But, if he doesn't make the team at the end of August, we're probably not talking about it in October.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.